So in my words, I just feel like a lot of these cats are actors, rappers, and I'm Jeezy. You know what I'm saying?
Ooh.
And they can never be me.
There are moments in hip-hop when one single line drops and the whole city feels it like a shockwave, and that's exactly what happened that day. Rick Ross stepped into a battlefield he didn't understand, crossing paths with one of Atlanta's most respected street crews, the Folk GD. One lyric, and everything changed. It started quiet, just one bar tossed into a track like nothing could touch him. Ross never imagined that one line would set off a chain reaction, waking up neighborhoods across Atlanta and forcing people to pick a side.
What is it? What is it, Jesus?
Where your favorite rapper at? I don't see that. I'm in the streets. Good look behind him. Yeah, hip-hop talking about nigga. Crip. Yo.
See, Atlanta's drill, trap, and real street world runs on codes older than the rap game itself. When Ross said what he said, the streets didn't hear art. They heard disrespect. And in Atlanta, disrespect travels fast. Before fans even caught on, the West Side, the South Side, the whole city felt the temperature rise.
Easy.
What is it? What is it, Jesus?
Where your favorite rapper at? I don't see that. I'm in the streets. Good look behind him. Yeah, hip-hop talking about nigga. Crip.
To rap fans, it was just a punchline. To the crew behind that name, it was a challenge. Their reputation wasn't built on IG flexing. It came from real history and real pressure. When Atlanta artists started posting cryptic warnings, everybody knew something serious was coming. And right in the middle of it stood young Jeezy, Atlanta royalty, industry heavyweight, and Ross's longtime rival. Jeezy and Ross already had years of tension, subliminals, cold energy backstage, quiet shots in interviews. So when Ross's lyric brushed against the wrong corner of Atlanta politics, Jeezy got pulled in instantly. Crews lined up, rappers moved careful. The industry whispered that something dangerous was brewing.
At the end of the day, you know, it's bigger than Rick Ross and it's bigger than Young Jeezy. You know what I mean? It's a culture that we represent, and at the end of the day, we never had stepped on each other's toes.
This wasn't just rap beef anymore. It was street politics, legacy, and regional pride colliding at once. And Ross wasn't built for that storm. His persona had already been questioned, and Atlanta wasn't about to let an outsider borrow credibility from a crew with real scars and real losses.
But I assure you, I can't speak for everybody,
Right.
but ain't nobody put no hands on me.
I heard that.
Yeah, so I mean, I can't say that for everybody involved.
He stepped up, though. He took a deep breath. When he stepped up, he had to face me, though, to get to Jeezy. And when he stepped up, I yanked his chains up.
One lyric made it look like Ross was inserting himself into a history he wasn't part of. And that's a code you never break. The whole city took it personal. OG stepped in. Phone calls got made behind the scenes. Even promoters started wondering if Ross should stay away from the city for a minute. This wasn't fear. It was respect for how Atlanta handles problems, directly. Meanwhile, Ross and Jeezy's feud only intensified everything. Their 2012 BET Awards altercation had already proved the tension was real. Now this situation poured gasoline on top. Fans turned it into a debate about authenticity, and the culture started asking who really lived the life they rapped about. Ross felt the pressure. His next album toned down the heavy street references. He chose his words carefully. Clubs in Atlanta paused bookings, collaborations fell back, and for the first time, Ross realized he'd crossed a line he didn't understand. But as months passed, mediators stepped in, quiet sit-downs happened. Atlanta's young generation shifted attention toward new beefs. The energy cooled, at least on the surface. Still, the lesson stayed. Certain names aren't just lyrics, Certain legacies aren't props.
One of the most dangerous gangs out there.
Hey Rick, straight up, you know what you did first time we gave you a pass on the Larry Hoover Big Meat song. Now, you done really disrespected the organization by putting your face on, you gonna put your star on your face in this star right here.
That's
see
what
that
you
right
don't
there?
do.
It ain't nothing but 3 people that rock this star, the Jews, GDs, Illuminati.
And in Atlanta, respect isn't optional. Ross survived the moment, but it changed him, and it changed the culture. Artists started thinking twice before referencing street crews. Labels woke up to the risks. Fans sharpened their sense of what authentic really means. Atlanta proved again why it's the heartbeat of hip-hop, a city built on loyalty, truth, and roots that run deeper than fame. Ross didn't just spark drama, he triggered a conversation that reshaped how rappers used the streets in their lyrics. In the end, this story is bigger than a rap beef. It's a lesson about power, respect, and the danger that still lives behind the music. One single line from Rick Ross, thrown out without much thought, turned into a chain reaction that reminded the entire hip-hop world that words can be more dangerous than weapons when they hit the wrong streets. Atlanta is not a place where you play with street history. The city moves by codes older than the industry itself. Loyalty, alliances, and respect shape everything, from the music to the people who built it. Ross didn't understand that. He walked through a door that wasn't meant for him and accidentally stepped on the legacy of a crew whose name carries real weight, a name that was earned through years of conflict, loss, loyalty, and pressure. And the moment that name came out of Ross's mouth, the whole city shifted. But none of this would have blown up the way it did without Young Jeezy's presence, his influence, his ties, his position in Atlanta's foundation. That turned Ross's mistake into something much bigger. This situation became a symbolic clash between two worlds inside hip-hop, the world built on real roots and the world built on crafted image, a battle between a city that guards its identity and an artist who touched something sacred without knowing the rules. Ross found himself face to face with a reality far different from the life he portrayed. He survived it, yes. He kept making music, kept expanding his businesses, but the experience changed him. There was caution in his voice afterward, more thought in his bars, a different tone in his confidence. But the real lesson wasn't about Ross, it was about Atlanta. The city proved that not even a superstar can outrun its codes. Atlanta reminded everyone how deep its roots go and how quickly those roots can tighten when an outsider oversteps. This moment taught a whole new generation of rappers that using street names, symbols, and histories isn't just for decoration, it matters. It can wake up a city. The industry learned too. Producers, managers, labels, bloggers, everyone began to see that not every gritty reference belongs in a song, that authenticity isn't a costume, that real street history comes with real consequences if it's mishandled. Ross is still here today. The hits still play, the business still moves, but the people who know the full story understand that one lyric brought him closer to real danger than he ever expected, and he barely made it through. And Atlanta stayed solid. The city that took trap music to the world once again proved that respect here is everything, that history is sacred, that no one gets to use it without earning it. In the end, this entire situation stands as a warning, a legendary reminder that hip-hop may love boldness, but the streets never forgive disrespect.